Hey, welcome to Let's Eat with Russ. Today I'm going to make a BBQ Prime Rib Pizza. Got my dough ready to go here. I already published that video of how to make the pizza dough. So again, we're just going to use a lightly floured surface here. I like to actually put a little bit of flour on both sides of the disc of dough here before I start rolling it out. I'm not fancy enough to be able to twirl it in the air and all that, so I just use a rolling pin. Oops. And I like to roll it out a little bit larger than the pizza I'm intending to make because, as you can see, it's kind of pulling in on its own from the elasticity of the dough. So I go a little bit bigger than I wanted, just so that when it shrinks, when I move it to the work surface, it'll still be the right size pizza. Yeah, that should work. So I'm just using the back side of a big wooden cutting board because I don't have a pizza peel. So you want to sprinkle it with cornmeal so that it doesn't stick to the surface. And from there you can just kind of crimp the edges a little bit to make a little bit of a crust and a wall for the sauce. And I always do a little drizzle of olive oil on the crust before I add any sauce. Just kind of spread that all around to the edges. And that should work. Again, in this case, I'm going with barbecue sauce instead of regular tomato or pizza sauce. And I just use the back side of a spoon to get that spread around. Might want just a tiny bit more than that. Yeah, it should be about good enough. I'm going to need another bag of cheese here. Probably should have had that prepped before I started this video. course, if you're making your own pizza at home, you don't have to skimp on the toppings like your local pizza place probably does. But you don't want to go too heavy with the sauce, because if you do, it'll make your crust not come out very crispy. It'll keep it a little bit soggy. Alright, so from there, go ahead and start throwing on the prime rib. Obviously you want this to be cooked, not raw, so this is leftover prime rib that I had on hand. And I've made this once before and it came out really, really good. So let's hope lightning strikes twice. I'm sure it will. That looks reasonably well covered. And I'm going to throw on some red onions. And some thin sliced jalapenos. If you're not a fan of anything spicy, you don't have to use the jalapenos, but I think they complement the pizza pretty well. Good enough. And that's basically it. Now I'll just show you how I transfer this to my pizza stone, which is already heated up in my oven. My little countertop oven only goes to 450. If your oven goes higher than that, I would recommend cooking it at 500 or 550, but with the pizza stone, 450 will work. It's probably going to bake for about 10 or 11 minutes. And grab my oven mitts here. Move this out of the way. So the whole point of the cornmeal is so that it'll slide as you shake it a little bit. So I'm going to try to keep that moving. Get that to lay right on that pizza stone. Fix a couple of lost toppings there. And then we'll throw this guy into the oven, like I said, probably about 10-11 minutes. We'll check back in when it's done. All right, it's been about 11 minutes. You know, it's anywhere 10 to 12 minutes, but I seem to find today anyway, with multiple pizzas that I've baked, that 11 seems to kind of be about the sweet spot. So there we go. Pizza's out of the oven. And I actually like to use my giant snow shovel pizza spatula here. You can use any metal spatula. I just like to make sure it's loosened up from the pizza stone before I try to cut it. And then once I've got that cut, try to get this giant pizza spatula, there we go, under the whole pie. You can use whatever, a cookie sheet or a platter, or if you're going to serve it immediately, you might just leave it on the pizza stone to keep it hot, unless you're going to make another pizza. And if you are going to make another pizza, it's really important to dump or scrape off the cornmeal underneath it from the pizza stone, because I learned the hard way. It'll turn black and start smoking in your oven and everything. So I'm lucky I got these little pizza cardboard dealies, so I can just slide that guy off right there. And there you go. BBQ Prime Rib Pizza. Looks good, smells good. Pretty sure it will be good. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.